Morning everyone, it's Saturday the 4th of July 2020, so just coming out of lockdown, off to a car boot sale now. It's 20 past 6 in the morning. I should have been there 20 minutes ago and it's 10 minutes down the road. It's been raining overnight, so I don't hold my hopes up for it being a great car boot sale, but it is dry now, so we're going to see what's going on. And my windscreen wiper at the back seems to have broken as well, so yeah, great start. Okay, right, I'll see you guys in a little bit. How much do you want for these?
It's 110.
10. You take 6?
She wouldn't take 6, and it's just not worth me buying them at 10. Not enough margin, so I've left them. And then I spotted a pair of Air Jordans, but I wasn't 100% convinced they were real. They looked in fairly good condition, but just checking out the interior, the fit and the materials, I wasn't convinced, so I decided to be safe rather than sorry, and I left them. Pair of Nike Air Max. Always checking the condition. I've made mistakes before where I've not checked, so in this you can see is a heel wear, so if there's wear it's just not worth picking up. Right, now I spotted a toolbox here. It's a DeWalt toolbox. DeWalt make really high quality tools. Thought I'd check inside, nothing in there. I did think about getting it for myself, for my tools, but I ended up leaving it. I spotted a big stack of hi-fis. As I got closer I did see a Sony tape deck in there, and everything else was cheaper brands and it just wasn't worth getting. I also noticed that the stacked hi-fi next to it, the MIDI system, had water on it, so it'd clearly been left out in the rain in a shower earlier. Big Yamaha keyboard in the background, but there were keys missing, so not even worth looking up. Now at a distance I spied a bag of shoes, but once I got closer and had a little bit of a dig, it was very much non-branded and high street shoes, so no margin for me to make on those. But as I had a rack of clothing, I thought I'd have a quick look through these, but again, unfortunately, it was all very much high street brands, so if it's cheap to begin with, it's not going to make an awful lot of money on the second-hand market, so skim through these, but nothing relevant for me. Now at a distance I spotted a pair of Nike Air Huaraches. Nice colourway, no cracks when bending them. But then if you looked at the back, there was a tear. You could see where the material had ripped, so there's just no point in picking those up. There's no money to be made there. I then noticed a couple of pairs of Nike Reshoevn8r. These in good condition. I can tend to flip quite quickly, 2 to 3 weeks once I've got them photographed. Usually for around the low 20s, but they're a quick turnaround trainer.
Would you do me a deal if I took both?
No, they're £5 each. Sorry, they're my daughter's, so she won't budge on the prices.
Yeah, no, I'll go there.
No. Oh.
And this one was more of a random sort of bric-a-brack type stall. I always like to have a look at these because you can sometimes pick up a gem, you never know what you're going to find, but yeah, it's complete potluck.
Today, all this 50p each. Only 50p.
Thank you. Cheers.
So this guy I've bought from before, and he tends to have a lot of gently used, let's say gently used Marks and Spencer's bits and pieces. And I'd previously bought some Clark's boots off him and some Hobbs shoes, so he does have high quality stuff. I did spy the Timberlands there, but I'm not 100% familiar with that style of Timberland, and I'm pretty sure it is genuine, but there were a few scrape marks in the nubuck on the toe, and I think it's just going to be too much of a pain to get them looking good enough to make the margin that I want to make. So Timberlands are in the region of 160, 180 new. He wanted 10, maybe it was a mistake to leave them there, but with the scuffs on the front, I didn't know whether it was worth it, and I wasn't 100% convinced they were the genuine article. In hindsight, I think they probably were, looking back, but yeah, maybe that's one I've missed. Then I noticed underneath his rack of clothing, I saw the little yellow, you see the sign underneath, the little emblem underneath on the sole of the shoe, and that's Vibram. Vibram make very, very high quality sole units, so it's not a Vibram shoe, but it's a high quality sole unit, which is many high quality companies will use a Vibram sole, so it usually indicates it's going to be a decent quality shoe. In this case it was actually high tech, so I decided to leave it. So I saw this guy throw the leather-looking Converse style trainers over, and I thought I'd check them out in case there was some sort of special limited edition. And I actually looked inside, there was Zara, so resale value pretty low, as Zara's a very cheap brand in the first place, so I left those ones. Now I spotted under this table some Magic the Gathering cards. I don't know anything about Magic the Gathering cards other than the godfather of Tat, Nick Hills. He resells them from time to time, and they can have some decent value. The problem is, having no background on these at all, I literally have no idea whether it was worth spending a couple of quid or more on them. There was 2 packs partially sealed, and there was also a kind of a cool little ceramic coaster. I didn't really want to spend more than 2-3 quid on them, but the guy wanted more and I was really willing to spend, so I decided to leave them. It might have been a fail, maybe they are worth a lot, but I just didn't know, so I'm fed up of, to be honest, bringing home lots of little random tat that ends up going on the death pile because I don't know enough about it. So I just decided not to in this particular case.
I know the coaster you can get up a couple of quid. That I think it was a few more pounds. I think it was about £2 for each of those packs. Packs, yeah. They're sealed. £2 for the plastic pieces.
I'll give you £2 for the lot.
No. Sorry, mate.
Okay.
Cheers.
There's a few over here.
I spy Lego.
That's going to be £4.
How much has it cost for Lego?
The whole box is £15.
15.
You want bits out of that?
Sure.
That's the most expensive bit. Caravan.
Too rich for my blood.
The e-reader.
Now, I did spy a Bell & Howell Cine camera. It was in good condition. It had the instructions, and when you opened up the instructions, on the first page the receipt was flapping about. So it was actually bought originally in 1983, but I couldn't find any comparables at all. So I decided to give that a miss. Also, it looked like they took a very specific film cartridge, which I've not ever seen before. So it just wasn't worth the risk in this case. There's quite a few stalls that had brand new stuff, just not interested. So there's the odd stall with moody stuff, and there's the odd stall with just new stuff. Just not for me, thanks. Now, whilst I can't be bothered to crawl around on the floor looking for clothing, I did spy this on the rack, and I was hoping it was going to be a Bailey of Glastonbury sheepskin jacket, but it was a non-branded one, so I decided against it. But whilst I was up and they had the rack there, it was easy for me to flick through stuff. I then noticed there was a couple of suit bags, so if someone's bothered to put their suit in a bag, the odds are it's been protected. So I had a look to check out who the manufacturer was and see if it was a quality suit worth investing in.
Excuse me, how much is the suit?
I want £8 for the suit.
Okay.
Now for the right suit you can make some decent margin. Now this was a Canali suit. I had gone away quickly to do a quick check on comparables. Canali suits, depending on what they're made of and the cut, can go anywhere from sort of your £50 up to over 100. So I thought it was worth a punt. She only wanted £8. I'd spent some time checking it over before I handed over my cash, so I made sure there were no holes, no tears, all the buttons were there. So yeah, hopefully some good margin in that one. And now getting out the Tatmobile, my Tat trolley. This has been an absolute game changer for me. Where I used to go around carrying IKEA bags and Sainsbury's bags to carry all the Tat, I'd have to take multiple trips to the car, and the problem is now with COVID-19 there's potentially queues and having to come back in and re-sanitise. So this is basically an old pram that we had, and I unclipped the back, folded it down, so it's got a carry strap. I can sling it over my shoulder as I'm walking about, and when I need it, pop it out and chuck everything on it. So yeah, it's been an absolute game changer. Now I spied this Sony hi-fi as I was walking across, and 20 odd years ago when I finished uni, I worked in Dixon's for a year, and I used to look after the hi-fi department. I used to sell this, and this was around £200 at that time. It's a top-loading CD mini hi-fi. That front panel, that's not plastic, that's actually glass.
Hey, how much did you want for that?
Decent quality speaker cable included, and it had both the aerials and the remote. So yeah, it looked like a good buy. It was in good condition, just very, very dusty.
I just want something for the garage. Will you take 10?
Yeah, she was happy to take a deal at 10. I should be able to get somewhere around the sort of £40 mark for that at least. But yeah, it was a good quality item. And when she gave me the bag, I found the instructions in there. So if you've got remotes and you've got instructions, you've got all the peripherals such as your aerials, all of that adds to its saleability. So to have that complete and in good condition for a tenner, it's a bargain, as long as it's working. So I just loaded up the Tat trolley with the little mini hi-fi system. As I was walking off, I noticed what I thought was a barber jacket. I could see it was a wax jacket on the floor with clothing. And I tend to not bother with stuff on the floor, I just can't be bothered. But when you see a wax jacket, you think, alright, that could be something good. It wasn't Barber, it was actually RM Williams. Now, I only know that brand through Rod the Pommy Picker, and he's picked up some decent RM Williams boots before. So it's a really, really high quality manufacturer from Australia. So yeah, she only wanted a £5 for it, so not too bad. She had a trucker's cap, 50p, and there's a little crossbody bag, and she wanted £1 for that.
One more, I think. We take 6 for the lot, 50p off. Yeah.
Yeah, she was happy to do 6 for the coat, the little man bag, and the trucker's cap. So yeah, happy with that.
How much are these?
Yeah, £3 each or 2 for 5, my love. If you want more, you can make me enough money to get
Sure. No, fair enough.
Moving house, I don't want to say anything with you.
There you go, cheers buddy.
Now this particular stall looked like utter chaos. There was no real social distancing going on at all. So yeah, I think it was a house clearance company, but he was just basically clearing nearly everything out was £1. So it was either, I think it was £1 on the table, and then all the tat on the floor was £1 for 2 or 3 items, depending on what it was. But yeah, not anything of any relevance for me. I did spy a pair of leather Nike trainers, but you just got to remember that condition is everything, and in this particular case, the upper was coming away from the sole. So yeah, fixable, but for the small amount of margin that you're going to get from it, it just wasn't worth my time.
Yeah, it's just coming up for 7:45 now. Not brilliant, but it could have been a lot worse. Rain's clearly put people off. So it was mainly traders, and again, you're seeing the same people every week. So even though there's an alright amount of stalls there, I've seen most of that stuff. It doesn't look like much has really changed. There was a bit of social distancing going on. People weren't really following one-way rules, the one-way system, which is why I got my hand gel and my face mask. Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a washout. There's a few bits and pieces that were quite good in the end. So yeah, I'm reasonably happy. I haven't spent too much. Hopefully tomorrow will be a bit sunnier, and we'll see where we are. So I'll go home and get some stuff sanitised up and do a little haul video. So I'll see you in a little bit.